Hi everybody. Notice I'm still celebrating from last night, and I thought, what better way could I do it than drink Spanish sangria in anticipation of our trip in April to Bilbao for the quarter final. That's right, Celtic fans, quarter final of the Europa League. And who knows, we might be back there in May for the final, the way things are going. So, anyhow, I'll keep the rest of this for later. I can highly recommend it from Costco. What can I say about last night? What a game. Nail biting, nerve shredding. It's just as well I'm going for a pacemaker checkup in 2 weeks' time, I think it is, because it was sorely needed last night at various points, especially during the penalty shootout, obviously. Rangers weren't the better team for once at home in Europa League. Fenerbahce definitely were the better team. They should have won. They had chance. Well, I say they should have won. They did win, but they might have won by more goals. So we were just grateful to get into extra time and then by a miracle practically win on penalties, because we don't really do that very often in big games. I was struggling to remember the last time we did that in a penalty shootout. So all's well that ends well. But what a night. It was an end-to-end game. They were very quick, strong, came here right from the first minute, intent on scoring that vital first goal. And we knew it would be vital, whoever got the first goal. If we had scored, I think the game would have been over. But the goal, a couple of minutes before half-time, gave them fresh impetus and belief that they could overturn this. So that was a poor time to lose a goal. I was just hoping we could get to half time at nothing each. Having said that, I think we were the better team just in the first half. We had more attacking moves that were more promising, should have ended up in a goal maybe. So it was disappointing that we were the ones to lose a goal when we looked more likely to score in the first half. But as I say, that changed the whole dynamic of the game. And when they came out in the second half, they just dominated proceedings. Thankfully, their shooting was wayward or high or wide or whatever. But we hung in there. We had to stick in. We had to defend more. We had to show the character that too often we've lacked this season, apart from in Europe. So it was one of these 45 minutes you just want to get to the end of it. You know, we could have had a couple of chances where we scored, but didn't. As I've said, their shooting was a bit off, so that helped us obviously. But in fact, when we got to extra time, we thought, well, anything can happen in extra time, and it was just more of the same, really. I think we were a wee bit more, not in control, but a wee bit more in the game in the extra time than we had been throughout the second half, so at least that was an improvement. And then when you get to penalties, wow, I mean, we scored the first one, so that was vital. They missed their first one, so that put us ahead. So we didn't need to worry about what they did from then on. All we had to do was do our job, and four guys score each of their penalties, and we're through. So Cherny did his. They scored with their second one, obviously. And then when it came to the third one for us, Hadji, poor effort, too low, too near the goalkeeper. As bad as Yilmaz's one that lost us a League Cup in December there. So that was us back biting our nails. Thankfully, though, Super Jack Budland in goal. He made a great save from the next one, I think it was. Then Tom Lawrence, no, he made one with his legs the first time, and then he made a great save with his second penalty save. So that was two saves. And then Tom Lawrence on as a sub. Oh, he at least did something by scoring, hitting it straight down the middle. And then Fenerbahce's penalty, where they had to score to stay in with a chance of winning. The guy blasted it over the bar, and Q Ibrox going crazy. I mean, everybody just so delighted, going crazy. Players, management, everybody running about, you know, just in ecstasy. And then the tune that became a fixture in the 2022 run to Seville, that was played. I got a feeling, something in the air, and all that stuff. Everybody's singing that, so it was a happy ending, obviously. Um, think of the players individually. I think the only one you could say was hopeless, absolutely hopeless, was Bayrami when he came on as a sub, as usual. Just shows very little effort, no guts, no determination, no willpower. He ambles about, he loses out in tackles, and when he loses the ball, he just kind of shrugs his shoulders as if, oh, what happened there? He doesn't chase after the guy and try and get it back. And when you need everybody pulling in the same direction, he's just a dead lost, an empty jersey. There's no way he should ever play for us again this season, and we should get rid of him in the summer if we can. He's just not suited. Well, I was going to say he's not suited to Scottish football, that's obvious, but he can't even do it against a Europa team when in theory they're not defending and they're not getting stuck in the way your Motherwells or Hibs do. Although Fenerbahce did last night. My one gripe about them was the fact that every time we went near them, they fell over, rolling in agony, half the time holding their heads, holding their faces, trying to get people booked, trying to get guys sent off, looking for penalties anytime they were even approached in the box. That was the only thing. You might say it's a typical Jose Mourinho team, because Celtic fans are still annoyed at how they behaved in the final they played them in. Played Porto in Seville all these years ago, and nothing seems to have changed the way they were throwing themselves about. I thought at the beginning, oh, we've in for a nice treat here. The referee actually looks okay. We usually get absolute duds at Ibrox in European games. This guy booked one of their players for diving early on. I thought, oh, this guy might be good. But no, he must have got the word in his earpiece, hey, it's the guys in the blue shirts you're supposed to be booking. I think he ended up booking 7 of us and 2 or 3 of them. And it was so ridiculous that half of ours didn't deserve a booking, but in the same stance, half of their team must have got booked or should have got booked, but he just gave us a foul and let them away with it. There was one where Sterling ran past the guy in the right wing, going for the byline. The guy just took him out. Foul, no booking. I mean, that kind of thing, just ridiculous. The number of fouls they committed that were fully deserving of a booking, and he just gave us the foul and that was it. Absolute disgrace. So this Norwegian referee, I don't know if that's his normal style, throwing cards about like confetti, or whether it was just us he took umbrage to. Maybe he thought we were due to play Bodo Glimt in the next round or something, and he was trying to get a few of us suspended. Well, it worked, because Suter and Diamandi missed the first leg of the quarter-finals at Ibrox against Bilbao. So well done, referee. You've helped somebody, maybe not Bodo Glimt, but somebody, because that was a disgraceful performance. And as usual, Jose Mourinho after the game moaning about refereeing decisions. Oh wow, moaning about the referee. He was on their side, moaning about not getting penalties and all this kind of stuff, and how they were the superior team, which they were, but we were better than them in Turkey, so it evens itself out. And when it comes down to extra time and penalties, then it's your fault if you don't win. They missed 3 penalties, or at least we saved 2 of them, so it's their own fault that they didn't go through if they were so superior. So you can see the sour grapes sort of coming out of his mouth as he spoke. But what can we say about ourselves? Great win, not a great performance. We hung in there. They were the better team. We had chances, even in extra time. Cherny had a fantastic shot that the goalie did the save of the match to just palm it away, and that would have put us through without the penalties. So it was obviously just destined to be one of these games where you're biting your nails the whole time and shouting at everybody who makes a mistake, etc. But it was exciting. The end result was what we wanted. We're into the quarterfinals. Fenerbahce, big, strong team, fast, skillful players, experienced players like Fred and Dzeko. So you won't come across more experienced guys than them. But Bilbao won't be in the same league, I don't think, in terms of experience. They might be more skillful. I don't think they can be any tougher or any slyer the way they were throwing themselves about. So if it hadn't been for the 2 suspensions, I'd be optimistic about the first leg at home. but especially Suter missing. So let's hope we can survive that and maybe pull off some kind of result, as we have done often enough in the past, in the away game and qualify for the semi-final.